He played well. I mean, he got the ball out of his hands and made the right reads. And, they're fortunate to get a backup quarterback that understands where to go with the ball and to make the throws that Mac did.
Yeah, Baldy, every player has strengths and weaknesses, regardless of position. And I thought that he made a couple of really nice third down throws. The 2-minute drive that you described, the ball over the top to Jennings. He had one on a crosser to Pearsall. That was a great ball, a kind of a deep comeback to Christian McCaffrey. That was excellent. And I love that touchdown pass that he floated to Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
What did you think of his ball placement? Because I thought it was, for the most part, really, really, really good.
Well, the touchdown to McCaffrey is not an easy throw because, he's going full speed, to the sideline there in the end zone. And so you got to be able to throw it so that, you don't run out of real estate. You can't just give him a big runway to go chase it. You're gonna end up out of bounds. So that throw's got to be thrown with touch. But you still got to drive it because that's a zone look. And they got a good pre-snap read that it was going to be zone by how they moved McCaffrey into the slot. But I thought that was a really good throw. And, the touchdown to the tight end was, to Luke, it was really, really good. So, I just thought there was enough good throws in a game where, look, the Saints, they still got Kamara. They still got players, It's not like you could just throw the ball out there and just go win the game. I mean, you're trying to put their team, 49ers trying to put their team together. Saints got an excellent play caller, an excellent offense coordinator, Kellen Moore. He's very, very bright in what he does. And Spencer Rattler played pretty good. So, it was a dogfight. But, I thought Mac was one of the difference makers in that game. And, of course, you're starting to see the return of Christian McCaffrey. It's coming. He's going to break one. He's getting very close.
I'm glad you brought up CMC. We'll get back into Mac and Brock and all that stuff in just one second. I thought Shanahan was brilliant in this game, the way he deployed CMC, and I thought CMC's running was more decisive. He had great vision, a couple of beautiful cutbacks, and some power. But there was a play on third down where they kind of motioned him out from the shotgun formation and then used him on this little out pattern. And then in the red zone, they moved him into the slot on a similar out pattern. The way they used him in this game, to me, was just brilliant. I loved it, quite frankly, Baldy. And I'm really encouraged with Shanahan using him and the way CMC looked. What'd you think?
Oh, I'm completely in agreement. They did one of those, where they motioned him out. He's not really a running back. He's not really a receiver. He's in that sort of dead area out there. And I saw him, they got him matched up with Pete Werner on a comeback, and Mac Jones threw it on timing. They'd been practicing that throw quite a bit. And that's one of the other things you saw from Mac was some throws that were on timing. Ball's out of his hands before the receiver's out of the break with anticipation. But I thought McCaffrey, it's been a long time since I've seen him explode like that. Sometimes you could just see the rubber kicking up from the ground when he's making these violent cuts. You always know that he's seen it really good when the explosion's back, when he's jumping through a hole, not running through a hole. He jumps through a hole sometimes to clear the trash. And then he's coming to a 2-point stop. And, the kid Justin Reed made a good tackle on him. Otherwise, I think he was gone. So he's getting close. I think the explosive run is coming. And I don't, it's going to be any week now. But I think he's the thing that I thought last year, because of no camp and all the off season and the inflammation and the tendons. I didn't think his feet and eyes were married together, and his vision's always been so great, but his feet could get him to that. Now I see his feet and eyes working together, and he's seeing it on the wind back where the lane is. And I could see he's starting to feel more confident. I never felt at any point last year that he played with any confidence. And I feel like Kyle knows he's coming. And I think Kyle's having a lot of fun getting him back into this offense, regardless of who's at left guard, who's at quarterback, who's at tight end. That's the chess piece right there that he needs to continue to move around.
Talking with Brian Baldinger here on the Morning Roast, our Odyssey NFL Insider, best football show podcast, Spadoni and Shasky with you. And that's the word right there, confidence. Kyle Shanahan, Christian McCaffrey, Fred Warner, all his teammates talked about the confidence they had in Mac Jones. I mean, it doesn't get more confident than, you have Christian McCaffrey as a running back, in your opening 3 plays, Baldy, are all passes. 39 pass attempts for Mac Jones. Does that shock you at all?
Not really. I mean, the strength, I think, of New Orleans defense is the front. I mean, Granderson and Hayward, Cam Jordan. I mean, they've got some dogs up front. They're not easy to move. You lose your left guard, during the game, and you got a rookie in there playing. I thought that's probably the best way to attack them. But I think, and if anybody's around Mac Jones, the kid's got a smile on his face. He approaches the game the right way. I'm sure Kyle's coaching him hard like he coaches quarterbacks hard. But, the guy has a lot of confidence in himself. I mean, he's very calm. He's a lot like Brock in some ways. He's not the athlete I don't think that Brock is. I think Brock just moves better and is a better runner. But that's okay. That's not Mac Jones's game. I know coming out of Alabama, that's the year they drafted Trey Lance. I mean, I honestly thought they were going to draft Mac Jones, that year over Trey Lance. I think there was even a battle in the organization. I don't want to revision history here, so I don't know all those details. But I know he liked him coming out of school. That was for school. That's for sure.
Baldy, how should they approach this Brock Purdy injury over the next couple of weeks? I mean, you were a player, you're studying film, you talk to GMs and different people, you see what happened with Burrow, and we know that these turf toes can linger. It ended Patrick Willis's career. So if they came to you and they said, Baldy, how should we look at this Purdy Mac Jones situation over the next couple of weeks? How would you advise them?
Well, here's the thing. You can play. I mean, there's varying degrees of turf toe, okay? There's some where you can't walk, all right? It literally, you can't put any weight on your foot. There's some where you can play a game. There's ways to but it's almost impossible to practice with this turf toe, all right? It's just too painful. And so I think that's going to be a factor is when can Brock Purdy practice? I think he can go out there within a week or two probably because it doesn't sound like it's as serious as Burrow. But regardless, I don't want to, try to make some sort of false claim that I don't know. But that's the problem. I've had it. It's impossible to practice with. And so now you're just a spectator. So then you're going to, okay, do you spectate all week and then think that the timing is going to be good game day because you can get through the game? I think it's going to be a few weeks here, Joe.
Well, so let's play out the schedule just very quickly here. They got Arizona this weekend. That would be 2 full weeks if he misses. Then you get Jacksonville would be 3 full weeks. But you have a quick turnaround against the Rams on Thursday night. So, again, we're all just guessing here. I'm not comfortable with him playing against Jacksonville and turning around playing 4 days later. Again, we don't know his body. So how would you view this?
Well, I mean, it's going to be up to Brock. It's a long season. We're only in September. All right. You got the 2 wins to start. You can't say, okay, let's target this date. Because that's not how it works. You can't target the date. You don't know how it's going to feel and how the inflammation is going to go down, how it's going to heal up. And then if it does heal up to the point where he can play, does it get re-injured? And then you're really going to miss time. So I just think when you get that kind of injury, he's on his toes the whole time. Any kind of a drop back, you're on your toe. There's no way to really go work around it. And so I think it's not even a pain tolerance. The thing's got to heal, because it's a long season and you're trying to avoid, quick pressure, blitzes, whatever. I mean, anything could kind of set it off. So I think we're looking at a couple of weeks probably to make sure it's healed before they put him back out there.
Talking with Brian Baldinger here on the Morning Roast, and Baldy, the name everyone keeps bringing up after these first few weeks. And again, it's early, but D. Winters, man, this guy is just flashing left and right, the swagger. We're kind of calling him Dre Greenlaw light, but and he even had the penalty like Dre would have in the past with the roughing.
It was definitely a Dre Greenlaw penalty.
It was
definitely he sent him right into the bench.
It was great though.
Yeah. No. Well, the thing is look, the tackling was not great as a group, especially on Kamara. I thought, but I did think they played with a great deal of violence. And D Winters is a violent player, and that's what we always said about Dre. That's what we said about Aziz Al-Shire. Like, they were violent players. They attacked the line of scrimmage. The hits, you can hear the hits from D. So I feel like Fred's got a real partner in crime next to him back there, because Fred's playing out of his mind. Like, he looks like it's unreal, honestly, after maybe some injuries last year to slow him down a little bit at the end of the season. But that fumble that he caused against Kamara, taking that ball away, he's just flying, man. He's just flying to the ball right now. And so his coverage has always been great, but Fred wants the ball, and he got the ball the other day. But they tried to find that guy next to Fred all year last year. And I don't know how many different guys they threw in there, but none of them looked right next to Fred. D Winters looks like he's the right guy.
Yeah, he does. And I just kept asking myself, like, was he just not ready last year? Because Devondre Campbell was so bad. Like, is this just Robert Saleh?
I'm glad he quit. Honestly, like, it's probably the best thing to happen to the 49ers.
Wow. That's a sentence. Looking at all the young guys on defense, Robert Saleh has that back end in position to make plays. And I feel like that wasn't the case the last couple of years. You got so many young guys. Michael Williams, obviously on that line, playing alongside Bosa. Alfred Collins playing on that line. Marquise Siegel on the back end. Upton Stout, Renardo Green. Just your overall thoughts on the complement of young players that are getting baptized by fire in the Robert Saleh system against NFL teams right now. How are they looking?
So here's the thing about young players, and every one of those guys you just mentioned, you're spot on, Joe, is if they're the right guys, you can live with mistakes, you can live with penalties because they've committed some, but they're going to get better, and they're going to add speed to the defense. The defense is much faster than at any point last year. Last year, they just looked old and slow. So they're faster right now. They're more aggressive than they have been. That's Saleh, and playing fast. There's going to be mistakes made along the way. There's just because the game moves so fast, you can't always be in the right position. You can't always fly the ball. But you can live with the mistakes early, but they're going to make plays later on. And I feel like that's where they're at right now. In fact, I wrote this down. To your point. Young guys got to play and they got to learn, including like Pinnock is new to the defense. So, Siegel, Stout, Green, like, they got to play and they got to learn. You got to live with it. Mistakes are going to be made, penalties, whatever. You got to live with it. But I think they're the right guys right now.
Brian Baldinger here on the Morning Roast, Odyssey NFL Insider, and Baldy. I saw your video and the Baldy breakdowns. Do it better than anyone else, by the way. I saw your one on Cameron Latu this morning, and Niner fans are like, wait, he exists still. There you go, former Niners draft pick Cameron Latu making the block for the Eagles. But I saw your one on Bryce Huff making the play. Week 1, it was Bosa making the game-winning play. Now this week, we're talking about Bryce Huff. And it was kind of like a low-risk, trade, right? He had success with Robert Saleh in New York. Didn't do much in Vic Fangio's scheme last year with the Eagles. Gets an opportunity here. You got Michael Williams, obviously, but Bryce Huff, I didn't know he had this sort of speed, Baldy. Like, I'm looking at him and Bosa. Again, it's 2 weeks. We're not overreacting to anything. I can only react to what I've seen, but I've been impressed.
Joe, here's the thing. The Eagles made a mistake. I'm not saying it's monumental or anything. He's not a linebacker. He is a pass rush specialist. He's got to put his hand in the dirt. He's not a stand-up outside linebacker like they wanted him to be for Vic Fangio in Philadelphia. It didn't work out. The Eagles ate their loss. They've got other guys. It happens. But Saleh knows what Huff is. It wasn't just, he closed the game out the way Nick did the week before. So that's what you want. You want your great players to close the game out. Nick was awesome. Nick looks like a different guy. But he's got somebody that can come off the edge opposite him right now. And he's better than anybody they've had over there the last couple of years. His takeoff, Joe, is, I call him the Bugatti, because honestly, he's an Italian sports car. And like, you just watch him beat guys out of their stance. And that's what he did on Sunday. That's a first-round pick in Fuaga right there. High first-round pick. He beat him right out of his stance and turned the corner. I think he got to the quarterback, Rattler, in like 2 seconds. But that's what he was in New York. He was a pass rush specialist, and that's how you play him. And he had a lot of other good rushes too.
Yeah.
He's going to help this defense. Michael was really, really good. Like, you could see his violence and physicality. I think you could see Nick now moving inside. They're moving Nick around. Like, where's the pigeon? Nick's going to go up against that pigeon. He's going to find him. Cesar Ruiz, whatever it is. Like, I'm going to go pick. Like, Nick is playing really good football, but I think the group around him is far better than any point last year.
Yeah, Huff made some plays where he's bending around the corner. It reminded me of D Ford, quite frankly. And he got really low, and I mean, he was just flying out of his stance. You said, and he kind of alluded to it, Bosa looks like a different man. What looks different?
I think his overall energy level is, and I think he's just like literally. Some days it looks like he has no regard for his body. Now, we know he's got this, Adonis physique about him, but he's thrown himself in there. Now, it's only 2 weeks, but he's thrown his body around like he's a rookie trying to make the team right now. And he's like no tight end's going to block him. Like, if he's one-on-one with the tackle, he's just dishing him. Like, he's playing the game about as well as he's played it at this point so far this season.
Watching the game on Sunday, it crystallized to me. Juwan Jennings at 6'3" and physical, even though he can't run fast, he's just a perfect complement opposite Ricky Pearsall, who I thought looked so good in this game, making contested catches with guys on his back shoulder, and is just slippery, just a really good football player. I love these two as complementary receivers to each other in this system. They maybe not get the headlines of a Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson or whatever, but for this offense, they fit. What'd you see from Jennings and Pearsall in this game?
Well, I saw a little bit of what you just said, but I think the number one thing is they're both dependable. I mean, Juwan's just a good football player. He's a good blocker. Like, he runs he's never going to be fast. He's never going to separate a great deal, but he's got, he's got tangible assets, his size and his reach. So all those things are good. I think Ricky is just beginning. He's just starting this process. I think there's going to be a big growth with Ricky as the season goes on. And I just think you're going to see these shallow crosses. You're going to get him on the run. I just think there's a lot more to come with him out of different formations right now. So moving him around, putting him in motion, like all the things that Kyle likes to do, I feel like there's packages that are going to come for him as this thing begins to evolve.
All right, one more for you, Baldy. We appreciate your time this morning. Arizona this week, already 1-0 in the division right now. If you're the 49ers, beating the Seahawks week 1, which was massive. Arizona 2-0 heading into this thing. Biggest challenge that this team presents is what at the home opener for Levi's this Sunday?
They're a good defense. They're a really good defense. This Will Johnson, he was the best rookie I saw in week 1. What he did to New Orleans. He just took Rashid Shaheed out of the game. He can eliminate Rashid. I'm interested to see if they put Will Johnson on Pearsall or what they do with him. He's excellent. The defensive line it's very, very multiple. The blitzes by this Nick Railis, the defensive coordinator, he's talented, and how he gets guys free to the quarterback. They're a challenge for teams right now defensively. Now, Kyler's playing really good, and they're always going to be able to run the ball. The emphasis will always be to run. That's what Gannon wants to do. So that's the number one challenge offensively. And Kyler's a part of it, but he's not running it like he used to. But he's playing good football right now. But the running game is good, and defensively they give you a lot of looks. They come at you. Budda Baker is basically got a green light to do whatever the hell he wants to do on a football field. His instincts are unreal. His tackling is crazy. But they've played close games now, and they've won 2 close games. New Orleans had a chance to tie the game up going down the last play of the game, much like last week. And, Juwan Johnson had the ball in his hands in the end zone, and Baker came and just blew it all up to help preserve the win. But they're a scrappy bunch that has improved a lot defensively.
Just a battle of first-round quarterbacks on Sunday. Mac Jones v. Kyler Murray. Baldy, great stuff this morning. Really appreciate it, man. We'll do it again next week.
Let's do it, guys. You bet, man. Have a great week.